Now, the next topic is telescopes. Telescope is the instrument which you use it to see the distant objects nearly. So, when we observe celestial objects like stars, sun, moon, like that, so we have to use telescope. So, telescope is the instrument used to observe the objects at very larger distance or distant objects. Okay. And in this telescope, now, as we have discussed earlier, the angle subtended by an object at larger distance is small at the eye compared to a object which is at nearer to the eye. So, suppose if we consider a distant object means which is considered to be at infinite distance, the angle subtended at the eye will be very, very less when the object is at infinite distance. But when it is at a near point like this, nearer to eye, the angle subtended will be more. So, alpha and beta, if you consider like that, so alpha is always less than beta. That means when the object is at a larger distance, the angle subtended by that object at the eye is small, but when the object is nearer to the eye, the angle subtended at the eye will be more. Okay. That means the magnifying power of a telescope means telescope does not change the size of the object, but it gives an image close to our eye. That means it gives the image of a distant object close to our eye. That means if you say the magnifying power of a telescope means suppose it is m, then it means that it gives then the image is m times near the eye. So, the distance is reduced to m times. Now, in this first we discuss the telescopes, astronomical telescope. Means astronomical telescope. This astronomical telescope contains two convex lenses, and one is of shorter focal length and shorter aperture, and another is of larger focal length and larger aperture, and they are also held in a coaxially like this, and in two different cylindrical ends of two different cylinders, and one slides into the another one. So, here the requirement of this telescope is, in this case the objective lens is of larger focal length and the eyepiece of shorter focal length and shorter aperture. Why we require this larger aperture is the aperture gives the light gathering area. That means the area through which light enters into the lens is called its aperture. So, if for distant objects we require more light to be incident on this objective lens. That is why we take this objective lenses of larger aperture and larger focal length. Okay. Now, these two are held in a coaxially. As we know that when the object is at a larger distance or infinite distance, the light rays coming from that object will be parallel. So, parallel rays from a distant object are incident on this F naught and Fe. Okay. So, here also the lens which is towards the object is objective and the lens which is near the eye is eyepiece. But the difference between this telescope and microscope is the compound microscope is, in the case of compound microscope, eyepiece is of larger focal length, but in telescope eyepiece is of shorter focal length. Now, When the light rays from a distant object, those rays will be parallel, and those parallel rays incident on this objective lens, which forms an image at its focus. That means this distance is f naught. That means when the object is at infinite distance, image is formed at the focus. So, this is the focus of this objective lens. Now, if we adjust this focal length object, this eyepiece, such that this object is at the focus of this particular eyepiece, then the image is formed at infinity. And if this is the distance of eyepiece. Okay. So, in astronomical telescope, the objective lens is of larger focal length and the eyepiece is of shorter focal length. The light rays from a distant object which are parallel are incident on this objective lens, which gives an image at its focus f dot, that means at this point which is at its focus. Now, the second lens, that is eyepiece, is adjusted such that this particular image is within its focus, then which gives image at infinite distance, and this arrangement is called normal adjustment for this astronomical telescope. Okay. Now, to calculate the magnifying power of this, similarly if it is the angle subtended by the object at the alpha, and if we take this image as beta, then its magnifying power is given by m is equal to beta by alpha, that is approximately equal to tan beta by tan alpha. Because the position of the image is same, position of the object is also same for these two. Okay. Now, this equal to, from this assume that this is I G, this is O, and this is O dash. From this triangle, tan beta is equal to triangle IG O dash, tan beta is equal to IG by IO naught, and that is equal to IG by, and IO naught is equal to the focal length of this eyepiece, so FE, and from triangle IGO, tan alpha is equal to IG by IO, that is IG by FO. Okay. By sign convention, this f naught is taken as positive because this distance is in the direction of propagation of light. So, this f naught is taken as positive. For this triangle, for this lens, this is the object distance which is opposite to the direction of propagation of light. So, by sign convention, we can take it as minus Fe. So, Ig by minus Fe for the triangle tan beta. Now, substituting these two in this equation, m is equal to Ig by minus Fe divided by Ig by Fo, that is minus Fo by Fe. If the distance between these two is L, then L is equal to f naught plus Fe in this case of astronomical telescope. Okay. Okay. So, the working of telescope is very simple. So, it consists of two convex lenses one is objective and another is of eyepiece. In this astronomical telescope, objective is of larger focal length and eyepiece of shorter focal length, and the parallel rays from any distant object are incident on this, which forms an image at its focus, and this image serves as object for the eyepiece, which gives image at final. Suppose if we want the image to be at least distance of distinct vision, we have to adjust the second one, and that is we have to slightly adjust these two. Okay. Now, to get the image at least distance of distinct vision, we have to adjust such that this image will be in between the focus and the optic center of this objective lens. Suppose it is assumed to be at a distance UE. So, the image is formed at this particular position. Now, similarly, this also, if we consider it as beta, so we can write, so the image is formed at like this position, this I naught and G naught, but the angle is same for this IG and this image also. So, we can take beta as this one also. So, just we can change this FE, and we have to change this as, here the distance is UE, it is not equal to the focal length because the image is in between the focus and the optic center. So, if the image object distance is UE, we can write it as UE, sorry, okay, this is F naught. In this case, we have to write minus UE. If the image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. So, in that case, we have to replace this FE by UE, where this UE is object distance for this eyepiece. Now substituting this, we get F naught by UE minus F naught by UE. Here the negative sign indicates the image is inverted. So, now we can express this UE in terms of the focal length. Now, FE is the focal length of this eyepiece. So, 1 by FE is equal to 1 by V minus 1 by U. Here V is least distance of distinct vision. So, V equal to minus D, U is equal to minus UE, because the image, this distance is measured opposite to the direction of propagation of light. So, by this we can write 1 by FE is equal to 1 by D minus plus 1 by UE. So, 1 by UE we can write as 1 by D plus 1 by FE. Now, substituting in this place, so M is equal to minus F naught into 1 by D plus 1 by FE. Now, this can be written as minus F naught by FE into FE by D plus 1. That means, we are multiplying and dividing with FE, so that we get this equation. So, this can be written as minus F naught by FE into 1 plus FE by D. So, this is the magnifying power of an astronomical telescope when the image is formed at least distance of distinct vision. But when the image is formed at, that means when the image we can observe in the relaxed position, means the image is formed at infinity. In that case, magnifying power is simply F naught by FE minus sin F naught by FE. So, in the case of telescope, if the image is formed at infinity, the magnifying power is f naught by fe. When the image is formed at the least distance of distinct division, the magnifying power is minus f naught by fe into 1 plus fe by fd. Now, this astronomical telescope, by the name itself, we can observe the astronomical objects like stars, moon, like that. But when we observe on the objects, distant objects like a cell phone tower or a telephone tower, TV transmission tower, which are on the earth, so we get a negative image. It is a problem. So whether for stars or any celestial objects, the image is whether it is inverted or erected, it won't make a problem. But to observe the terrestrial objects, we require a erected image. For that, in addition to these two lenses, another lens is placed in between these two, so that we get a erect image, and that lens is called erecting lens. So a terrestrial telescope consists of 3 lenses. So terrestrial telescope consists of 3 convex lenses. One is objective, 2 is erecting lens, and 3 is eyepiece. That means it is exactly similar to that of the astronomical telescope. The only difference is in between objective and eyepiece, there is another lens called erecting lens, which gives the image to be which inverts the image formed by the objective. Now, the ray diagram for this terrestrial telescope is So this is the ray diagram for terrestrial telescope. So it consists of 3 lenses. This is objective, this is erecting lens, and this is eyepiece. And the objective is of focal length f naught, and this is fe, and if this is f. Okay. Now the light rays from a distant object are incident on this objective, which forms its image at its focus f naught. Now, the second lens, erecting lens, is adjusted such that this image is at 2f point of this erecting lens, so that it gives an inverted image of this image. That means it becomes erect, and this image at 2f point again, and this eyepiece is adjusted such that this will be in the focus of this eyepiece, which gives the image at infinity. So, this is the ray diagram for terrestrial telescope. So, it consists of 3 lenses. The erecting lens is just to invert the image formed by this objective, so that we get a erect image of the object. Now, the next one is reflecting telescopes. Reflecting telescope means actually our astronomical telescope uses 2 convex lenses. So, convex lens means lens works on the principle of refraction. So, those telescopes are called refracting telescopes. Here it is reflecting telescope means the reflecting object is mirrors. So, here we use mirrors in place of objective lens, because as the requirement of telescope, the objective lens is of larger focal length and larger aperture. It is required that the aperture means nothing but actually we represent a lens like this. That means this is the side view. But if we take a lens like this, it appears to be in a circular cross section like this. So, aperture means this total area, that means through which light passes through the lens is called its aperture. So, the aperture is large means this area must be large like this. So, for for a telescope, the required aperture is about the radius about 1 meter. So, in order to hold this large lens, it is very difficult in holding this mechanically. So, and another one is a single lens, the image formed by a single lens is defective, and those 2 defectives are spherical aberration and chromatic aberration. So, first one is difficulty in holding this lens, and second one is image formed by the single convex lens is defective for this larger apertures. For small aperture there won't be any difficulty or defects, but due to this larger aperture they may suffer spherical aberration and chromatic aberration. Now, what is spherical and what is chromatic aberration? We just now, spherical aberration means if we consider a larger focal length and larger aperture of a lens, now an incident on this will be deviated like this. So, this is the angle of deviation delta at a height h, and this is f. So, for smaller apertures means those rays are very close to this principal axis, those lines, those rays are considered as paraxial rays, but this only paraxial rays, they will come to focus a single focus. But when a lens of larger aperture, the light rays which are very far from this principal axis are called marginal rays, and which are very close to the principal axis are called paraxial rays. So, marginal rays are which are incident at a distance, larger distance from the principal axis, and paraxial rays are very close to this principal axis. Now, this deviation angle tan delta is equal to delta, that is h by f. Now, this deviation increases with the distance h. That means, the marginal rays deviate more compared to the paraxial rays. That means, these marginal rays will form an image very close to the lens, whereas the paraxial rays forms image at a far point like this. Suppose this is the lens, this is the axis. So, the light rays which are very close like this, whereas these will form at a point. So this is the image formed due to the marginal rays, this is image formed by the paraxial rays. Now that means for a point object we get a elongated image. This defect in image is called spherical aberration. That means the spherical aberration is the defect in the image formation by a single convex lens due to the difference in deviation of this marginal rays and paraxial rays. Now this defect is spherical aberration, and another one is chromatic aberration. That means chrome means color. That means when white light is incident, it splits into 7 colors, and due to this a defect in the image is called chromatic aberration. Now if we consider, we have the lens maker's formula as 1 by f equal to n minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. That means the focal length is inversely proportional to this refractive index. So for refractive index, n is equal to lambda 0 by lambda, where lambda is the wavelength of light in air and this lambda is wavelength of light in that particular medium, that gives the refractive index of the medium. So for a red color, the wavelength is more compared to the violet color. That means red color wavelength is more means the refractive index will be less. So n for red is less than n for violet. So due to this, the focal length changes when white light is incident and it gets dispersed, so that two images are formed. So now parallel rays, white rays are incident like this. That means the refractive index for red is less than that of violet. So if the refractive index of violet is more means focal length of violet color will be less, so that it will form an image close to the lens, and the red image is formed at distance, and the remaining images of other colors will be in between these two. That means instead of a single colored image, we get multicolored, that means 7 images like this, but out of which we only observe this red and violet as clear, remaining will be in mixed ones. So this defect in the formation of image is called chromatic aberration. So to overcome these difficulties, reflecting telescope is used. So in reflecting telescope, we use paraboloidal concave mirror. Paraboloidal concave mirror means actually we manufacture the mirror from a spherical surface, it is cut from a spherical surface. So these mirrors are called spherical mirrors, but if we cut the concave mirror from a paraboloidal surface, then it is paraboloidal concave mirror. Why this paraboloidal concave mirror is preferred is, for a parabola, the light ray incident at any position will reflect into the focus. At any position of the mirror, all the rays will converge or diverge to the same point. That's why paraboloidal concave mirror is preferred. So now the reflecting telescope consists of paraboloidal concave mirror, in which there is a opening like this, and light ray is incident like this. So this is the reflecting telescope, in which this is the paraboloidal concave mirror. That means in place of objective lens, we replace it by this paraboloidal concave mirror. So this paraboloidal concave mirror, in which there is an opening. Now the parallel rays from a distant object are incident on this mirror, and these two rays has to focus at this point. In between these focus, we place another mirror, convex mirror. Another convex mirror, so that this particular focus, that means the image formed by this one acts as virtual object for this convex mirror, which gives image at this point, and this image is object for this eyepiece. So this is called primary mirror, and this is called secondary mirror. And this is the eyepiece. So the refracting telescope and reflecting telescope exactly the same, but the eyepiece is same in both the cases. And in this case, we have a paraboloidal concave mirror. That means in place of objective lens, it is replaced by this paraboloidal concave mirror, and that is called primary mirror. And the light rays incident on this mirror has to focus at a particular point, but in between that particular point, we place another mirror called secondary mirror, and that secondary mirror gives an image at this point, which is this eyepiece is adjusted such that this image will be in its focus, so that this acts as eyepiece. And this design of this refracting telescope is given by Cassegrain. So this telescope is called Cassegrain telescope, Cassegrain reflecting telescope. And another reflecting telescope is Newtonian reflecting telescope. In that one, that is also same similarly. So paraboloidal concave mirror, similarly this is primary mirror, and the light rays incident like this. Let us suppose this is the axis. So light rays now here we place a plane mirror like this. Now these two light rays are allowed to incident on this plane mirror, and which gives an image at this point, and which is adjusted at the focus of the eyepiece. So this is Newtonian reflecting type telescope. So the major difference between the Cassegrain and the Newtonian is, in case of Cassegrain, this secondary mirror is convex lens, and in case of Newtonian it is a plane mirror. Sorry. In case of Cassegrain, the secondary mirror is convex mirror, and in case of this Newtonian is the secondary mirror is of plane mirror. That is the difference between, and the primary mirror is same for both reflecting for Cassegrain and Newtonian.